What's up guys, and in this tutorial, PHP tutorial for the register and login script for the code conspiracy, we're going to get straight into the coding and start programming our if and else statements. So underneath this comment I'm just going to write if the password, which we've got up here in this variable password, so if the variable password is exactly using our operators of double equals, so exactly equal to $, repeat password, my days, I'm typing, repeat password, which we've also got up here. So then we're going to execute some more code. Else, we're just going to say, quite simply, we're just going to echo out to the user that sorry passwords you entered are not the same. Then we can just link them back to our register page using a @ tag, and we can just say back and save that. Okay, now if the password and the repeat password is actually the same, we can now check to see if the username is, well, if the username exists basically. So now we're going to be writing our MySQL query. Okay, so we're going to write $query to signify a query variable, and then it's going to be equal to a MySQL query. And a query is quite simply used to sort of justify and find anything in a MySQL table. So then we're just going to put our speech marks, and we're just going to say select all from our table users where username equals inverted commas $username. So what that's just going to do is going to select everything using the asterisk from our users table where the username is equal to username, our username variable, which is up here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and say, we're just going to say rows, and that's going to be equal to MySQL _num _rows. This is a function built into PHP to get how many rows in a MySQL table have, you know, so it's going to count how many rows is in this query up here, and what we're going to count in is going to be the query that this query of here. So it's going to count how many rows have the username equal to username, and if that number is 0, then it means that it does not exist. If it's 1, it means it does exist. So we can come down here and make another if statement, and then we could say if rows if rows equals, if rows does not equal 0, which means it equals 1, we're going to continue and check for the email. Else we're going to have an else statement, and it's going to say speech marks and a semicolon. We're going to say the username you entered already exists, and then we can just copy our line of code here that we used for the back button, and paste that right in there. Okay, so presuming that a username does not exist already, we can then continue. And in here we're just gonna copy this down here, but instead we're gonna name this query 2, and we're gonna say rows 2 and query 2 here. And all we need to change is this to password, no, to email, sorry, and where email is equal to the variable email, which we've also got up here. So, presuming that's, we're going to use our if statement again, and we're also going to say if rows 2 does not equal 0, so that means it equals 1 or more. So if rows equal, sorry, that needs to be if rows does not equal 1. So if rows does not equal 1, hang on, if rows is equal to 0, then that means we can insert the data. Sorry guys, we're just going to change this to if rows equals 0. Okay, so then we can start inserting the data. So then we can make a new query, and we're going to assign that to the variable insert, and that's going to be equal to a MySQL underscore query. And in that we're going to say speech marks, and in those speech marks we're going to say insert into users, and we need to specify the rows in the users that we're going to use. So ID, comma, username, password, what else was it? With ID, username, oh, email, and then join. Right, real quick up here, I'm just gonna make the password an MD5 encrypted password using an MD5, and then we can just put the brackets around our post variable. So it's gonna MD5